Hey, Melatonin, what's up? It's a culture detective here investigating your favorite animes, and right now I am sleep deprived. I am on 3 hours of sleep with a broken tongue, so this is gonna be great. Anyways, today I'm going to be doing probably my last anime review of the year, and that is of course going to be ReZero Season 3. Yay! So, ReZero Season 3 is based off of a light novel ReZero by Nagatsuki Tappei. It is adapted into an anime by White Fox Studios, and ReZero is pretty much the flagship anime from this studio, anyways. And yeah, before I even get into ReZero Season 3 and the story, can I just talk about this for a little bit? So, flashback to July 4th this year, which is a very important day. It's Anime Expo Day 1. It's not important for anything else. I went to the Los Angeles Anime Expo for the first time, and I lined up for 1.5 hours for an autograph ticket. I didn't line up all that much to enter the Anime Expo, but for the autograph ticket, I lined up for 1.5 hours, and I missed the opening ceremony or something like that. So I got the ticket finally, and oh my god, I was scared I wouldn't get it. I got the ticket for the autograph signing, and the autograph signing is for ReZero team. Specifically, ReZero director Masahiro Shinohara and the voice actor for Subaru, Kobayashi Yusuke, as well as character designer Sagawa Haruka. So I lined up at around 6 p.m. that day ish. I lined up even more at the JW Marriott Hotel beside the LA Convention Center just so that I could pick up a poster and have them signed. So this is Kobayashi Yusuke, and of course he signs on top of Subaru. This is Shinohara Masahiro. This is the director of season 3. Fun fact, they actually changed the director. Seasons 1 and 2 are not directed by this guy. And finally, this very cute Emilia, very cute 10-second drawing of Emilia and the signature of Sagawa Haruka, who is the character designer. And when I came up to them, I was extremely tired. B, I was totally unprepared. I did not know that we were even allowed to speak to them. But I guess it makes sense if it's a signing thing. Of course, you can say a couple things to them. But I had no idea what I wanted to say, so I just said great job, great voice acting. And it was a bit awkward because I didn't know what to say and I stuttered for a little bit. But if I could go back in time and say something again, I would say something cheeky like, oh, can't wait for Rem to wake up, or I don't know, who is best girl, or something like that. Oh, it's funny because right here on the very top it says this is the last character of my Chinese name, and it says San E. So this is Knock, so to Mr. Knock essentially. And I had Kobayashi Yusuke write this. The reason being is that there is a Chinese person lining up in front of me, or behind me, and when I heard that the Chinese person asked one of the staff if it's okay for them to write their name in Chinese. And I also thought to myself, well, I could do that too because I have a Chinese name. So I asked Kobayashi Yusuke to write it. And hey, that character, no, kanji also has that word. There is a similar character in Japanese. So I thought it wouldn't be that difficult if one of them writes my name. So Kobayashi Yusuke starts writing my name, and he got really confused. And me, who's not Japanese, said, aha, muzukashi. And then he started speaking Japanese to me thinking I'm Japanese, but I just said muzukashi, which means difficult. So that's a fun fact. But another fun fact is a couple people before me who came first, they asked Kobayashi Yusuke who's best girl, and Kobayashi Yusuke was wearing a tracksuit. He unzipped his tracksuit and it reveals a t-shirt of Amelia. So that's fucking hilarious. So anyways, I digress. Let's talk about the anime itself. Before watching season 3, I had to watch a recap video of season 2 on YouTube because it's been so freaking long. I don't remember anything, honestly. I remember I loved season 2 and I remember the general plot details, but I've completely forgotten most of what happened, honestly. And even after the recap, I was extremely confused because season 2 is that freaking complicated. And another thing is, when I started watching season 3, I was like, oh my god, I should have watched a recap for season 1 as well. Because season 3 is actually kind of similar to the midway point of season 1. So season 3 is basically Emilia's camp. So Subaru, Garfield, Otto, Beatrice, and Amelia herself, they travel to a water-locked island city called Pristella because they have some important business meetings to attend regarding Mana Stone, because they want to resummon Puck, the guardian cat, which again, the season 2 recap video didn't even mention. I was like, what? Oh yeah, Puck exists. Like, where is she or he? I forgot. And then, of course, it's not as simple as that. They arrive and tons of other random characters randomly showed up, and then the witch archbishops, aka the antagonists, show up, and it became a clusterfuck of violence and insanity is what the result of visiting that city is. So I realized that I completely forgot about what happened in season 1, and I don't know why I've seen these characters, but I don't know why they're together. I don't know why they're friends, and it's so complicated. So apparently in season 1, there's a thing called the royal selection, aka the election for, I guess, the president of this world. And Amelia and Anastasia and Priscilla and Felt and Krush were 5 candidates in this royal selection out of 7, I believe. I forgot. And so they kind of already know each other to begin with because of this royal selection. So I was expecting more of a political thriller this time. You know how ReZero changes genres from season to season? But no, it is a full-blown fantasy action, non-stop fighting kind of season. It's kind of like Shibuya Incident in some ways. Now we have episode 1. When I saw that there are 8 episodes, I was like, okay, easy peasy, I can binge watch this in like 2 days. And then episode 1 turns out to be 1 hour and 30 minutes long. Apparently, also in Anime Expo, when this premiered, the director was like, it wouldn't make sense if episode 1 didn't end with a death scene. Ouch. And honestly, most of episode 1 is like relaxing slice of life comedy. Like nothing happens, it's relaxing, and hey, it's nice. It's nice to see ReZero not being full of violence and depression. And of course, it changes at the very end. Of course, it has to end with a violent, grotesque, and traumatizing death scene. And what's crazy about this arc is that we don't have 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 archbishops at the same time. What I like about ReZero is how unpredictable it is. This is unpredictable. 4 archbishops randomly show up at the same time. There are also tons of protagonists, and by tons I mean tons, like 20-something protagonists fighting against 4 archbishops. So it's 5 camps of 5 royal candidates. So 5 different camps bond together and fight for archbishops. So what is originally a harmless business meeting in this random city has turned into a battlefield, essentially. And at the same time, we also have personal side storylines regarding Garfield and Reinhard. Garfield trying to reconcile with his long lost mother, and Reinhard trying to reconcile with his father and his grandfather, Wilhelm, trying to reconcile with his grandson, that is Reinhard. So a couple of family issues, side plots going on, which I really like. I like that the character development of Subaru is over. After season 2, Subaru is fully like perfect human being. Now it's the side characters that need development. I like that. Now, the best thing about season 3 is that Nagatsuki Tapei goes reverse. So in seasons 1 and 2, when we find out that Subaru can return by death, which, if you haven't seen ReZero, not really a spoiler, by the way, but if Subaru dies, he just goes back to a spawn point or a save point. It's kind of like a video game where you die, you go back to a certain point that you saved. So Subaru basically does that. But for a lot of people, it seems like return by death cheapens the story, cheapens the stakes. It's not as intense now, because if someone's dying or if something goes wrong, Subaru can just kill himself and restart, which is sometimes the case in ReZero, not gonna lie. But this time around, Subaru is kept alive for really, really, really long. So much so that at some point Subaru was like, just kill me. But no, Subaru doesn't die. There are so many near-death situations in Season 3, and yet Subaru is still alive, which means that every single character who had died, or is suffering, or is heavily injured, will actually maintain that injury and continue to suffer. So, oh my god. That's a bit of a reverse card, if you will. But the first few death scenes happen really fast, but the second save point, the second part of season 3, I guess, like literally Subaru doesn't die. And that actually makes the stakes way higher. That being said, though, I do have some gripes with Season 3. First of all, I don't think it's as interesting as Season 2. Season 2 is a huge mindfuck. All characters have ulterior motives. We learn more about the witches, the lore, and I also like how unpredictable Season 2 is. Season 3 is more of a straightforward fight. Again, it's kind of like Shibuya Incident, except it's, I guess, less violent, more fantastical, and fewer deaths, hopefully. And there are also still a lot of confusions, like what does dragon blood do? At some point, 2 characters are poisoned with dragon blood. One character suffers a lot and the other character seems completely fine, and I don't know why. Is it supposed to be confusing? Is it supposed to be a mystery that would be resolved in the next Cour? I don't know. And the OP and the EDs are mediocre. They're mid. The OP is very generic. The protagonists are fighting the air, and yeah, it's like super generic. And the ED is okay. It's nowhere near as good as Memento, let's be honest here. But one final thing I want to say is the voice acting is fucking amazing. Especially for the archbishops. They have to give out ridiculous performances. The voice actress for the Archbishop of Wrath, aka Sirius, her name is Anzai Chika. I'm not familiar with her work, but she did an amazing job. Aoi Yuki plays a Lust. I did not see that coming, but Aoi Yuki perhaps is giving her most mentally deranged voice acting performance. Also, when Tsuda Kenjiro showed up, I was like, oh my god, they got Tsuda Kenjiro in ReZero, they got Tsuda Ken in ReZero, and also other voice actors, Koga Aoi, Nakamura Yuichi, they're all doing great. And of course, Takahashi Rie. Rieri is amazing, as always. So, yeah, good anime. Great anime, good anime. Can't wait for the second Cour. Feeling a strong 8 out of 10. Oh, my tongue. So, have you watched ReZero Season 3? Comments below, let me know, subscribe if you want more. Thanks for watching.